early 90s, this one might be kind of controversial because there's a lot of great contenders. But I want to say the early 90s was Shawn Michaels' time. For better or for worse, everything he did at this time was must-see TV. Of course, his incredible in-ring skill speaks for itself, but the way he presented himself, he had a look that just everyone gravitated towards. Of course, we know, in his prime, he was considered a very attractive man, and he played into that. He wasn't scared of that, but even more than his looks, his personality was immense. And his very sound in-ring style, mixed with his brazen confidence and promo ability, still has ripple effects on modern wrestling. There are so many guys who came into wrestling after that were inspired by him, by the way Shawn Michaels presented himself. And Michaels had longevity. Of course, these early 90s was his prime, but he kept going at an insanely high level until the early 2010s. So his longevity definitely plays into it. Even if he would get overshadowed later on, Shawn Michaels takes the cake. And perhaps because he had such longevity is why he takes it over one guy who just missed, who's Bret Hart. Of course, he's considered potentially the best technical in-ring wrestler of all time. And he wasn't lacking in personality, not at all. He could be pretty entertaining too. But Shawn Michaels had the privilege of sticking around in the industry longer, therefore being able to create more of a complete package. Now, another one who just misses Mitsuharu Misawa. Japanese wrestling owes a lot to this guy, because after Inoki's peak, Misawa was the one who kept the legacy going and popularized Japanese wrestling into new heights. For women, it's definitely Bull Nakano. Now, what can I say about Bull Nakano that hasn't already been said? If Jackie Sato lit the spark that popularized Japanese women's wrestling and turned it into the behemoth force that it is today, Bull Nakano burned the whole planet down when it came to just how good she was, how much impact she had. She was everywhere, not just in Japanese promotions, but she showed up for WWE, WCW, being a world champion in those places. She was the first ever CMLL World Women's Champion. And if that many promotions putting their trust in her to be the head of their division isn't indication enough of just how good she was, I could be here all day talking about the incredible matches she put on, the massive list of women that she inspired going forward, and hell, even men. She just inspired so many wrestlers. I could be here all day, but we got other stuff to cover. In the Just Missed section, and it's a very close Just Missed, Manami Toyota. And someone else I think deserves a shout in the Just Missed section is Alundra Blaze, aka Medusa.